Hey everybody, and welcome to point of the week number 9. In this week's point, I'm going to show you three different things. The first thing, I'm going to show you when to go big at the net and from the baseline hitting ground strokes, when to go big and when not to go big, on your volleys in particular. The second thing is I'm going to show you how to set yourself up for the next ball or set your partner up. And then the last thing is I'm going to reveal a key question that I ask myself to get better during the match. I've shown you a few of these in the last few points of the week, and I want to keep that going. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it, and people seem to be using it to help them in their doubles matches. So if you're new to point of the week, during the point of the week, what I do is break down a doubles point, typically 4-0, 4-5, 5-0 level tennis, and give you key strategies, tips, and tactics that you can use in your next tennis match on the court to help you win. If you want to subscribe to the point of the week, you can go to my website. It's thetennistribe.com and pop in your email. When you do that, you'll actually get a 10-page double strategy for free right to your inbox as well. And you can also look us up on Facebook. I post the point of the week there every week, or just subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it. The first thing I'll do is show you the point here. This is a 4-0 women's match. I'm not sure where this is located. Looks like Colorado State Open. So I will show you the point, and then we'll get into the specific tips. Okay, so you can see it's a pretty good point, a little bit of net action there. The lady I want to focus on is the girl on this side of the net in the pink here at the net. And the first thing we'll go over is, like I said, when to go big and when to kind of hold back on your volleys. And this works with ground strokes as well. So let me show you this first volley that she gets. She does a good job of just kind of punching it back to the baseliner on the other side of the net, not going too big. So there's a couple of things here. She is standing in the middle of the service box, maybe halfway between the service line and the net. And anytime you're there or further back and you have a volley, it's probably not a great time to go for too much and go for a winner. Really, you want to be kind of guiding the ball to the player or the direction that you want to go. So the rule of thumb that I like to use is exactly that. If you are halfway between the service line and the net, or closer to the net, it's okay to go big if the ball is at least above your waist. I like it shoulder height, really, but it depends on how close you are to the net. You know, if it's at your waist and you're right on top of the net, you can probably hit a winner off that. If you're a little bit further back, you can probably hit it shoulder height. So that's a good rule of thumb. Any volleys closer to the service line, go ahead and just guide those, punch them back like she did here, and she did a really good job. As far as ground strokes, I like to use a similar tactic. So if I'm hitting the ball from the baseline or further back, then I definitely don't want to be going for too much. I'm really trying to just hit a solid, consistent shot in the direction that I want it to go. If I am inside the baseline, especially closer to the service line, you get that approach shot. That's one you can go for and look to set up your next shot, especially if it's a higher ball, a little bit, up towards your shoulder area where you can really go for it. So those are two rules of thumbs on when to go big and when not to in doubles, and that kind of leads into this next one. So one thing that this lady does a good job with this first ball, because she bumps it back to the girl at the baseline, she's setting herself up for the next shot. So what I want to talk about is how to set yourself up or your partner up. So let me show you here again what she does to set up her next ball. So you can see she bumps it back towards the baseliner and closes into the net and gets a really easy high ball that she misses, but she gets an easy high ball on her next shot. So one of the keys to setting yourself up or your partner up is when you don't have an opportunity to put away, so something close to the net by your shoulder or an approach shot that's up by your shoulder near the service line, what you want to do is actually aim for the other team's feet. It's a really, really good strategy that I'm sure you've heard before, but typically people talk about that when you're poaching and when you have that put away ball. But one thing that people don't talk about a lot is when you have a volley, say at the service line or maybe a little bit inside the service line, to hit a soft, delicate ball at the other net player's feet. And the key to getting it to their feet is exactly that. You have to hit it soft. You can't hit it too hard at them. Otherwise, it's going to stay high up over the net. So you want to barely just get it over the net. Same for your ground strokes. You can hit a good forehand or backhand dipping at their feet. And after you see that the ball's at their feet, whether you're the net player and your partner hit it, or you're the net player and you just hit the shot, once it's at their feet, close really hard at the net, and they're going to pop it up, and you'll be able to get this next ball. So with that in mind, let me show you this again, and you can see how she gets this second ball, a nice high forehand volley to close into. So you can see she moves forward, split steps, and gets a really easy high forehand ball, and she misses it. We've all missed shots like that before. This leads me to kind of my third point. She's frustrated that she missed the shot. I would be too. It's a tough point, right? You expect to win something like that. And a key question I ask myself after a point like that is to really keep my head up and stay in it and continue to play better tennis is if I played that point the exact same way again 10 times, how many times would I win? So if this girl asked herself that, she would probably make that last volley 7 out of 10 times, maybe more. So that means she's going to win 70% of the points that she plays like that. So even though it's frustrating to miss that ball, you really have to keep your head up after a point like that because she did everything right. She just didn't execute that last ball. And sometimes you're going to miss an overhead, sometimes you're going to miss an easy one. But odds are if you keep playing that type of tennis, and if she keeps playing that type of tennis in this match, she'll continue to improve her odds to win each point and ultimately win the match. So definitely it's a good question, again, to keep your head up, stay in it, and continue to make sure that you're playing the right way and continue to try to win the match. So again, to recap, first off, when to go big and when not to. So when you're volleying, halfway between the service line and the net is really that line on when to go big and when not to. So if you're closer to the net, go ahead and go big, especially if it's up by your shoulder. On ground strokes, I like to say a little bit inside the baseline. You can go a little bit bigger. Again, it depends on how high the ball is. Obviously, if you're scooping a low one up, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But that's a good rule of thumb you can use on when to go big and when to look to set up your next shot. The second point, how to set up yourself or your partner. When you do have that one that you can't quite go big on, look to go at their feet, even the baseline person. If you get it at their feet, they're going to have to dig it up and pop it up, and then just close in, and you'll really set yourself up and set your partner up for that next point. And then last, a question you should be asking yourself after a lot of points. I try to ask myself after as many points as possible, even games, if I continue to play that point 10 times, if I play that exact same point over 10 times, how many of those points do I win? Sometimes you have a bad outcome with a good process, and in that case, just continue the good process and more good outcomes will result, just like this point here. So hopefully that helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Feel free to leave me any thoughts that you have, and go to thetennistribe.com to subscribe, and I will see you next week.